in just 6 innings in a game. And you see what the splits look like for the Phillies at home 13-7, on the road 23-9. They're scoring 4.9 runs per game here at home. On the road, 6 runs per game. And look at that ERA, much higher at home than on the road.
Yeah, that right there is very significant.
Well, here we go. We get set to get underway for game 2 of this 3-game series. And Marco Scutaro will dig in for the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays won last night in extra innings by a final score of 8-3. Jamie delivers a pitch off the outside corner, so we're underway. Scutaro just 1 for his last 15, but hitting .291 with 5 home runs and 29 RBIs and a real good on base percentage. In fact, his on base percentage coming into the series was at .397, and he is one of a handful of guys who has very good numbers against Jamie Moyer. And there's a strike at the knees, and it's 2-1.
Scooter has been in the American League a lot and has played against Jamie Moyer. He spent quite a few years in Oakland.
Back toward the middle, over the glove of Moyer, backhanded by Utley, off balance throw, and it pulls Ryan Howard off the bag. And that'll be an infield single right off the bat for Marco Scutaro. Well, not a whole lot Chase could do with Scutaro running. He runs pretty well. All he could do was just flip that ball over and hope that it was in the general vicinity.
Yeah, it was hit off the end of the bat and not hit all that hard, and Chase made a heck of a play out of it. And you have a slower runner, you got a shot at it.
So now Scutaro with 6 stolen bases on the year will take his lead off first. And then I'll bring Aaron Hill to the plate. Hill hitting .310 overall with 14 homers and 44 RBIs. Hill last night had a base hit in his last at bat. That was all part of that 10th inning. He reached on an infield single, and the Blue Jays went on to score 5 runs against Clay Condrey and also Tyler Walker. In the air to right center field. Worth is over. He's not going to get there. Victorino and Worth are going to try to cut it off. It's Jason who does so. Scutaro around third, heading for home. He's going to score, and the Blue Jays take an early 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. And that is the 9th double of the season for Aaron Hill. So the Phils are behind the 8 ball to start things off here in the top of the first inning.
Jamie Moyer tries to go away and caught too much of the plate, I guess. For Aaron Hill does a nice job of just, taking what was there, and that's hit the ball the other way.
So runner in scoring position, 1 run across the plate. Here's Vernon Wells. Blue Jays are hoping that Wells' last 2 at bats last night have gotten him out of a real long funk. See his numbers: .241, 5 homers and 28 RBIs. Coming into last night, he was 0 for his last 17. But after going hitless in his first 4 at bats, he picked up an infield single and then tied the game in the 9th, and then picked up another single, a scorching single right up the middle. As Cole Hamels got a no decision last night. And same with Ricky Romero, the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays.
Home plate umpire tonight is a veteran umpire. In fact, this guy probably had Jamie in the American League a lot. Mike Riley, when the leagues were separate. So he's behind the plate for him for a lot of games, you would think.
And there's ball 4. Mike Riley is the crew chief of this umpiring crew, which, as you saw, has Chuck Merriweather at first, Laz Diaz at second, and Eric Cooper around at third. Now the Blue Jays have runners on first and second and still nobody out. That'll bring Scott Rowland to the plate. Scott's riding a 6-game hitting streak. And he enters tonight's ball game 6th in the league in hitting. Ichiro is leading the way with a .354 batting average.
Trying to stay away from a big inning. right out of the chute here against the Toronto Blue Jays. They're facing a pitcher they don't know tonight.
Line drive, base hit to left field. Hill rounds third. He's heading for the plate. The throw by Ibanez cut off by Feliz, and it's an RBI single for Scott Rowland, and the Blue Jays lead it 2-0. Well, it's a 7-game hitting streak now for Rowland, and he picks up his 21st RBI of the year. And Aaron Hill being congratulated in the dugout.
Blue Jays didn't score a whole lot last night early in the game, but they're trying to put a big inning on the board right now. Scott Rowland hit that pitch hard to left field, and throw was cut off because they were not going to get him at the plate. You want to make sure nobody else moved up, and you kept the double play in order.
Well, they're not holding runners on at first and second as Lynn stands in, and he takes one at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, there's nobody out. Really not a good time to steal third base, especially off a left-hander who's a clear shot at third. Left-handed hitter.
In the air down the left field line. That's slicing out of play. And Jamie's ahead 0-2.
Jamie Moyer just needs an out. Something to restore some order here.
Yeah, kind of make this inning a little more manageable. See what Lind has done with 2 strikes. He leads the American League in base hits. One ahead of Carl Crawford. Jacoby Ellsbury is there, and so is Sean Figgins. 0-2 the count.
Oh,
fouled that one.
Hit it twice, didn't he?
Yeah. Where did that hit it?
I don't know. That made a weird sound.
Thought it hit him.
Did it hit his helmet after he swung at it? Yeah.
It did. It glanced
hit
right
off his
his
batting
helmet.
And he's lucky it didn't hit him in the face.
He doesn't even have that ear flap on that side.
Oh, it just hit right off the front of you. You could hear it made a double sound.
I thought it was Coast's helmet at first. So again, 2 strikes. And a call. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Linda's rung up. And there's that 1 out Jamie needed. Now he needs a couple more.
Well, that helped because that was off the plate, it looked like. And, you know, Mike Riley will do a little bit of that. It'll really help Jamie Moyer. Can't tell from that angle. One high and one low. You know, hit his glove.
Chris didn't really have to flinch at all behind home plate.
Good pitch.
1 out now. Here's Alex Rios. Rios has got good numbers lifetime against Jamie in 19 at bats. And he takes one for a strike, and it's 0-1. Overall, you see Alex Rios's numbers this year on a 5-game hitting streak at this point. Runners go. Pitch is taken inside. The throw by Coast. What a play by Pedro Feliz to make sure that ball didn't get into left field. They had no shot to get Wells or even Rowland. Both had good jumps. One follows the other.
Yeah, and that was the good time to steal. Talked before that it was not with a left-handed hitter up there and nobody out. Now with 1 out, yeah, this is a real good time to go. And as Tom said, this is a great play by Pedro Feliz. He knows he has no shot at Vernon Wells, so he does everything he can to get around that runner and catch that baseball or at least block it.
Yeah, because that ball was going down the left field line. Jimmy was obviously at his spot in shortstop, and Ibanez was playing, you know, fairly deep in left field. Hit sharply towards short. A run's going to score, but J-Roll is going to throw out Rios. It's 3-0 Toronto, but there are 2 outs now here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, 1 pitch before that, and it's a double player out of the inning, and it's 2-0. So that stolen base is huge. Takes a double play away, gets him another run.
And for Rios, his 33rd RBI. And now Jamie will deal with Lyle Overbay, the number 6 batter for Toronto. Blue Jays begin play today at 35-31, and they are 5 games behind the Red Sox in the American League East. Phillies, meanwhile, are 3 games up in the National League East over the New York Mets. And Rich Doobie trying to figure out this starting staff right now, because his guys just aren't going that deep into games.
Well, and this is not a good start for a guy to go deep into a game, as you see right there.
Hold to the right side. Ryan Howard has it, and Jamie's there to cover, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays do get 3 runs. Thanks to 3 base hits, they strand 1. We head to the bottom of the first. It's Toronto 3, and the Phillies coming up. Use that part of their resume against the Toronto Blue Jays, and they'll do it with this lineup. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino, the center fielder, bats second. Chase Utley's in the number 3 spot playing second base. Ryan Howard, the first baseman, bats cleanup. Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, hits 5th, followed by Jason Worth, the right fielder. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, bats 7th. Chris Coase gets the start behind the plate. He'll bat 8th. And batting 9th at pitching is Jamie Moyer. And they're facing right-hander Scott Richmond, who has been in and out of the starting rotation this year for the Blue Jays. This is his 11th ball game. He's 4-3 with a 3.90 ERA, making his 11th start of the year.
Started well. In fact, was the rookie pitcher of the month in the month of April when he pitched very well, and then has struggled a little bit since. This is our Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. He's a sinker slider pitcher. He'll throw cutter and slider. Huge difference between what left-handed hitters and right-handers do against him this year and last year. 9 homers by left-handed hitters, none by right-handers, and just 173 for right-handed hitters.
They'll face a number of left-handed hitters, beginning with Jimmy Rollins, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. Jimmy 221 overall in the year with 5 homers and 25 RBIs. 3 for 20 on this homestand. He takes a fastball for a strike. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Aubrey Weissman of Merchantsville, New Jersey. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Aubrey will win $100. Introducing McCafe coffees at McDonald's, a new line of lattes, mochas, and cappuccinos.
See those numbers that he has against left-handed hitters. You figure he doesn't have a real good off-speed pitch to throw to them. You know, they need some kind of change-up, split. You know, even a back foot slider, and that's what he's trying to throw right now to Jimmy Rollins. But for the most part, when the numbers are that high, that means the guys, they see him really well.
And Jimmy hits it hard, but foul up the first base line. Now, the Blue Jays, one of their issues this year, and that's why it was so surprising when they got off to as good a start as they did, is starting pitching. Because they have 3 of their starters who are on the disabled list, and another one that quite possibly is heading to the disabled list. In fact, before the ball game, Casey Jansen, who is scheduled to start tomorrow as Jimmy goes down on strikes, was placed on the DL. He joins Dustin McGowan, Jesse Lish, and Sean Markham on the DL.
Here's Scott Richmond. You know, basically, there's nothing real funky about him. There's nothing you look at it and think, well, he's going to be a really difficult guy for left-handed hitters. We have to see right-handed hitters when they face him, and maybe that ball really moves, his slider and cutter. That looked like more like an in-between slurve or curveball that he threw in.
Well, his fastball there at 93 miles an hour, and Shane is down in the count. No balls in 1 strike.
Kind of nice compact delivery.
Shane loops it toward left center field. Vernon Wells on the run, and he slides, and he can't get it. And Victorino now with a 6-game hitting streak. It'd be nice to get a couple back here in the bottom of the first inning for the Phillies.
Vernon Wells, pretty good outfielder. He's playing fairly deep there and actually playing the pull a little bit. Just a little dunker, and he got there, but he couldn't quite reach it. Looks like he's there and can't quite get to it.
Good backup by Lind, and as Wells settles back in at center field, Victorino will lead off first, and Chase Utley will dig in. Chase having a heck of a homestand, 8 for 18 on the homestand to raise his batting average to where you just saw it. And he takes a pitch at the thigh for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Richmond's a native Canadian out of Vancouver, and he's really had a circuitous route to the major leagues. Talk about a guy who's had a lot of different stops, independent leagues, one of those real success stories, and pitching in his native country too has to be a kick for him. Sure, he wears that leaf or that uniform proudly.
Well, he has come out firing strikes here in the bottom of the first inning.
And he's going to face all these left-handed hitters right out of the chute. There's the maple leaf.
In the dirt, blocked by Barajas. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Victorino holds up at first base. 24 consecutive games in which Chase Utley has reached base safely, which is currently the longest streak in the National League. Longest streak this year was Ryan Zimmerman, who was up over 40 games before his streak came to an end. Two and one the count to Chase.
Looks like he's trying to mix some curveballs into some kind of off-speed pitch to the left-handed hitter. He's thrown a couple of them. He struck Jimmy Rollins out on one.
Chase got a pretty good rip at that one, and evens the count at 2-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Angels came from behind to defeat the San Francisco Giants 4-3. It was their 6th consecutive victory. Tim Lincecum wound up suffering the loss in that one. He was pitching pretty well for San Francisco.
Yeah, he had a lead late in that game.
Breaking ball, swung on it, missed, and Chase is the second strikeout victim for Richmond here in the bottom of the first inning.
That was another breaking ball, as you said, Tom, and a curveball. So, you know, he's had a lot of trouble with his left-handed hitter, so they must have really decided they're going to make him throw some more curveballs, something to get the left-handed hitters off the hard stuff, his slider, cutter, and fastball.
And with 2 outs, Ryan Howard will be the batter. Ryan hitting .256 with 19 home runs, 4th highest total in the National League, 51 RBIs, which is also the 4th highest total. Prince Fielder leads the way in runs batted in. Victorino still over at first base, taking his lead. And that one's inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan this month is hitting .226 with 5 home runs, and his numbers are pretty good in interleague games. 19 homers and 48 RBIs. It's amazing in that old time flies thing. This is the 13th year of interleague play. Wow. It's gotten to the point where it's hard to remember baseball without interleague play.
13, huh? That is a time flies thing.
And now Ryan's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. You know, as the years go on, 2 wheels, I kind of I kind of roller coaster around it. When it first started, I didn't like it, and I still don't love it. I still think that baseball should be the American League against the National League in the postseason, and that's it.
Well, as long as the Yankees play the Mets, I think we're going to have it.
That's true. Cubs, White Sox.
Yeah.
I don't think Giants, A's is as attractive a matchup.
Or Royals, Cardinals.
Rangers, Astros. There's the all-time head-to-head record in the American League. More than 100 games over the 500 mark. 3-0 the count to Howard.
If they turn him loose here.
There's some of the interleague matchups tonight. The Mets and the Orioles tied at 1. Nationals and Yankees. Marlins and Boston. He takes, and it's 3-1. The only National League matchup. The Atlanta Braves taking on the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, with the uneven number of teams in interleague play, there always has to be a National League game. There's Ibanez on deck. The Phillies have done that the last few years. They've had 2 series with the Cardinals. They had a series with the Cardinals last year during interleague play.
3-1 inside, ball 4. So the Phillies have 2 runners on for Raul with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. During the 2009 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And so far, $3,600 has been donated just for the Phillies wins.
Raul Ibanez, watching the way this guy's approached these left-handed hitters with a few curveballs, he's throwing a lot of cutters and sliders in, and these left-handed hitters just may open up early on him, see if they can do some damage.
Raul tied for second in the National League in home runs with 22. And he's also second in RBIs with 59 behind Prince Fielder. And with 2 runners on, he's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. And now 2 balls and no strikes. And that old thing that we said about Richmond throwing strikes here in the bottom of the first inning, well, it's kind of evened out. Cito Gaston, in his return to Toronto, took over for John Gibbons last year. Brought the Blue Jays up past the 500 mark and had them playing pretty good baseball the first month of the season this year. And Raul will try to hold his swing, but he went around and it's 2-1. That was a slider from Richmond. He's throwing too many sliders.
Well, he's throwing sliders and cutters to these left-handed hitters, and that's what we're talking about. One of them, you watch this and you think about opening up early and maybe catching one middle in. But with that swing time, it looked like he was looking fastball.
Gets a fastball, but it's outside. 3-1. Jason Worthwaite's on deck.
And you start the right-handed hitters, and he's much more successful against them, at least statistically.
On the outside corner, it's full, so the runners will be off. Mike Riley gave Jamie Moyer a pitch on the outside part of the plate in the top of the first inning. He gives Scott Richmond one here. So it means Victorino will be off from second base. Howard will be off from first base. Phillies try to answer the 3 runs that the Blue Jays scored in the top of the first with some runs here of their own. There they go. And the 3-2 is swung on and missed. And Ibanez is down on strikes. A slider from Richmond. And he struck out 3 here in the bottom of the first inning. Phillies strand 2. We go to the second with the Jays on top 3-0. But Lou Pinilla's in a better mood than he was today after they lost their ball game, a 3-game series. Beginning July 20th at 7:05. It wraps up on the 22nd at 1:05 with a Citizens Bank Business Person Special and a Modell's Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases. You can order your tickets by logging on to Phillies.com. And I guess if you're going to wear a gorilla mask to the ballpark, you got to bring a banana with you because they go hand in hand. And the White Sox defeated the Cubs 4-1. John Danks went 7 innings, struck out 9. And what did Pinella say today? Yeah, he threw well.
And the guy, they were trying to get him to say that he dominated the lineup, and he went, "I didn't say that. He said he threw well.
Changed speeds well."
Oh, boy, was Lou on edge today. He just looked like he was going to pop at any minute. And, you know, he's really good now. He doesn't do it. And I think everybody kind of misses it.
Yeah, they're waiting for him to do it. Cubs are 9-17 in their last 26 games.
You know, Lou Pinella's got those eyes, and you can see them. They're on fire. And, boy, they were on fire today. But there's nothing he can do because they can't hit. They just changed their hitting coach. You know, it's always a coach's fault.
Yeah, poor Joe Perry.
Yeah, now they got Von Joshua there.
3-0 the count to Barajas, and that's in for a strike. It's 3-1.
And then after a while, you know, the team doesn't hit. What do you do?
Well, Wheels, if it starts to rain, put your poncho on.
Here we go.
Get ready for the umbrellas to pop up. Barajas sends one in the air. Left center field. It's deep. Victorino going back, and that one is gone. Oh, boy. How about Rod Barajas? 7 for 13 against the Phillies now in the last 2 seasons. And he's just given the Blue Jays a 4-0 lead.
Well, he had a home run here last year. Last night, he had an unbelievable sequence of popping up 3 straight times into the infield fly rule. And this time he crushes that ball to deep left center field, one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. Here's a look at it. Back leg, bang.
5 home runs now for Barajas. And we are in the middle of June. He had 4 home runs for the Phillies when he played for them a couple of years ago. And here's Richmond, who is 0 for 2 this season. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to him. And a called strike 3. Second strikeout for Jamie. 1 away here in the top of the second.
Here's another look at it from the center field camera. And he caught too much of the plate again, and Barajas gave it a long ride.
So on his second base hit at 6 at bats against Jamie. But it's a home run. So back to the top of the order now for Jamie. Marco Scutaro, who started things off with an infield single up the middle. And Scutaro down on the count, no balls and 1 strike. Blue Jays over the last handful of years have really been looking for somebody to take that shortstop position and grab onto it. And it looks like it's Scutaro that has finally done that. They've had Russ Adams there. They've had Aaron Hill there. They've had John McDonald there. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Orioles, thanks to a 2-run home run, lead the Mets 3-1 at the top of the 3rd inning.
Wieters is that phenom catcher
yep.
that they've been talking about so much. Big, tall guy.
A roller up the middle. That's going to be a base hit for Scutaro.
Who we will get to see over the weekend.
Yeah, they were holding him back the first month and a half of the season, and finally decided, well, you know what? Not that we don't have anything to play for, but we may not have anything to play for, so let's bring them up.
They have a couple of really good-looking young players, evidently. Everybody you talk to about the Orioles, I was talking to Nick Lave about them last night. He said, you don't know how they're going to pitch some nights. He said, the one thing they do is they hit. He said, and they really come after you offensively, so get ready this weekend.
Aaron Hill, the batter, with 1 out here in the top of the second. Blue Jays with 5 hits already, and the count is 0-1.
Just saw a shot at Nick Leva, an adventure down there at third base last night. A little easier waving him in tonight.
He was explaining that before the ball game, what happened. all the runs that they're scoring tonight, it's wearing Nick out.
Couldn't sleep last night after that play at third. You know, that preys on you.
That's the Alex Rios play, which at the time looked like a huge blunder. It was in the 8th inning. And Marco Scudero lined one of the gap in left center field. Raul Ibanez caught it for the second out. Rios, who was on third, misread the whole thing and didn't tag.
Looked like the Phillies are going to win the game because of that. One run.
Well, Nick Leyva explained it today that he just assumed Rios was going to go back and tag, and he was yelling for the runner at second to come on over to third. And Rios thought he was yelling at him, and there was a whole communication problem there. Jamie needed 6 tries to win 250. To win his 250th game, I should say. Now he's trying to tie Bob Gibson for 251. And Hill lines one to left field. Ibanez is there. And there are 2 away.
Made a good pitch with a changeup that time. Got him out front. Hit a weak fly ball.
And you talk about it, you marvel at the names he's now associated with. And, you know, he was already associated with a lot of good names, but the fact that with one more win, he's tied with Bob Gibson.
Yeah, that's a pretty good name.
And Wells takes a fastball for a strike at the knees.
With Scooter, I was going to go there, but he sure did break. And Jamie Moyer did that where he dangles his leg for a long time, and that got him back to first base. He had a one-way lead then.
Chris Coast wanted an appeal, and they finally do, and Chuck Merriweather says no swing.
This is the umpiring crew that was in Washington and went to the White House the same time the Phillies were there. Chuck Merriweather was there, and Mike Riley were in the audience that day when the Phillies made that wonderful visit.
Good pitch on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First 3 hitters in this lineup in the first scored runs against Jamie. And now Rod Barajas' home run has made it 4 runs. And a rip shot through the hole at shortstop and into left field. That ball was smoked. And Vernon Wells has his 3rd hit in his last 4 at bats.
Yeah, that little dribbler, Tom, you mentioned it last night at the time. Maybe that would get him going. And to an extent it has.
Cito Gaston was saying before the ball game yesterday, he said, listen, I understand that he's struggling, but what am I going to do? I'm going to keep putting him out there because he's going to hit.
Well, he's a veteran player. You know, the old back of the baseball card theory. You know, you take a look at that, and Vernon Wells has been a star.
Scott Rowland lines one foul. One hopper into the stands. Time now to take a look at our Firestone leaders. And the most Gold Gloves by a third baseman, Scott Rowland with 7. Mike Schmidt with 20. Brooks Robinson with 16. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. 20 Gold Gloves for Schmidt.
He's pretty good.
You marvel at Greg Maddux and Jim Cott for all the Gold Gloves they won on the mound. You think about Mike Schmidt with 20 at a position.
548 homers. Guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
In the air to center field. Pretty deep. Victorino on the run. He's got plenty of room. And he makes the catch, and the inning is over. So Moyer strands 2. Body allows a solo home run to Rod Barajas here at the top of the 2nd inning. Here's that swing. And the Blue Jays go into the bottom of the 2nd with a 4-0 lead. online at csnphilly.com. You can make predictions, answer trivia, chat with friends, and earn points to win great prizes. Play a special edition of Friday Night Fever during Thursday's day game by logging on to csnphilly.com, keyword fever. Home half of the second inning, Phillies trail at 4-0. It'll be Jason Worth, Pedro Feliz, and Chris Coast against right-hander Scott Richmond. Richmond allowed a couple of base runners in the first inning, but struck out 3. And the first pitch spins Jason Worth away, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Jason is 6 for 18 on this homestand, hitting .333. And it's 2-1. Phillies as a team during this month are hitting .257. They're averaging just over 5 runs per game during the month of June. And a lot of folks were asking, well, compare this team now to last year. And I said, well, if you look at their record, they were 2 games over 500 last year in April. They're 2 games over 500 this year. Less games, though. Did Worth hold up? Nope. Mike Riley says he went around. 4 strikeouts now for Richmond. And that's the first out here in the second inning. In May, the Phillies were 17-11 this year, 17-12 last year. And this year in June, they're 8-6. And you see where their batting average is. 8th in the National League. 2nd in runs scored, just over 5. 1st in homers, and they're 1st every month in home runs. You know, their earned run average collectively is not that bad at 3.72. One away from Pedro Feliz, and he hits one sharply toward the middle. A base hit for Pedro. 6th hit on this homestand. And he's aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning.
Hit a first pitch breaking ball back through the middle.
Oh, it's time now for our Geico quote of the day. Charlie Manuel on why Pedro Feliz is improving. He's a little bit more aggressive in his stance. He's following the ball good, and he's hitting the ball more to right field. He's being more selective and also more aggressive. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And all of that has led to a batting average well over 300. And a very successful first 2.5 months of the season. Line drive over the head of Rowan. That's a base hit down the left field line. Feliz held up, but he's going to stop at second base. And the Phillies now with runners on first and second and 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning.
Jamie Moy will come up and bunt here and try and get a couple runners in the scoring position, cut this in half.
Well, before we put our Firestone leaders, you know, Brooks Robinson with 16, Mike Schmidt with 10. I think those numbers look a little different.
Yeah, I thought that sounded a little high. I'm going to talk to guys between innings, and then we started getting some help from outside.
Yeah, Schmidt was very impressive.
Yeah, but 20, you know, well, he played 20 years.
Well, and Robinson with 16.
Yeah, 10's not bad either.
No. Mike Schmidt on the Wall of Fame, and he'll be joined this year on that Wall of Fame by our very own Harry Callis, the late great HK, who will be part of that celebration later on this year. Jamie bunts the ball in the air, foul, and it's 1-1.
Well, he's got Overbay right in his lap as he's bunting that, so he's trying to bunt it towards Scott Rowland to get him to come forward to field it. Overbay, because you don't have to hold the runner on at first, gets a free run. Look where Overbay is as the pitch is thrown, and then he just starts charging. Here he comes.
And Jamie does bunt it over toward third. Richmond off the mound. Great play. Rowan to first, and a double play. 1-5-4, and the double play ends the bottom of the second inning. And it all started because Richmond got off the mound quickly, made a clean throw to Rowan, who gunned it back over to first base. Well, this is some pretty good defense by the Blue Jays to end the Phillies' rally here in the bottom of the second inning, as Rolen throws out Lawyer. And what a good play by the Blue Jays to finish off the bottom of the second inning.
Well, this is a planned play if your pitcher can field his position on that side of the diamond. They will read that, and Scott Rolen will immediately retreat towards third base because the ball's bunted towards the pitcher. See how close it is? It's bunted close towards Richmond. So Scott immediately retreats to third base. Now watch his footwork here, how good he is. You have to get out of the way, take a little crow hop, and fire to first. It's really hard a lot of times for a third baseman to get much on that throw, because they have to retreat to the bag and they can't get their footwork right. He had plenty of time to get ready, get out of the way, and he's as good as they come at third base.
Yeah, the base runner in that case, Pedro Feliz, can handle third base just like a base runner handles second base on a double play. Go in and clip him out. And Scott was able to elude the feet of Pedro as Adam Lind starts things off here in the top of the third.
Well, the key to that for him, Tom, was he was able to read immediately that Richmond was going to get to that ball, and he could retreat to third and be under control for when he got the throw.
0-2 the count to Lind. Jamie got Lind looking on strikes his only time up. Should be an easy play for Chase Utley. Takes the big hop and underhands to Howard. One away here in the top of the third. Well, the Pennsylvania Lottery, the Powerball, is up to $72 million. It'll go off tonight. Wednesdays and Saturdays. You can buy your tickets up until 10 p.m. tonight, Wills. Again, $72 million is the prize. And if nobody wins tonight, that number will change for tomorrow's day game and get you ready for Saturday.
Nice hit for somebody. Group of people.
Alex Rios with a first pitch single into center field, and that is the 7th hit in this ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jamie trying to manage his way through the early part of this ball game. He's thrown a lot of pitches so far. As the rain starts to fall again here in Philadelphia.
And the Phillies have had a couple opportunities, but been leaving men on base, and then the fine play they just made on the bunt.
Mentioned last night that the Blue Jays began the season, as you see the rain and the lights, began the season in first place for most of the year, most of the first couple months of the year. 3.5 games up on May 18th, 27-14. Since that time, though, 8-17, and They finally dropped out of first place for good on May 23rd.
Well, you better play well in this division that they're in with the Red Sox and the Yankees, who are rejuvenated this year, and the Rays are starting to play very well. And everybody knows how good they are off of last year.
Yeah, Tampa Bay ended the Colorado Rockies winning streak last night. Read some of the quotes where Evan Longoria said, "Boy, I like playing here in Colorado."
They hit 5.
Overbay can't check his swing. It's 1-2.
One humidor.
See the American League East standings. Blue Jays and the Rays at 35 and 31, 5 games off the pace. Well, you figure if all 4 of those teams play solid baseball this year, what a race that's going to be at the end.
Yeah, and the Orioles, who are 10 under, we just got finished talking about them, how dangerous they can be offensively on any given night or day.
Lucido Gaston has something to him that, I mean, there's a lot of success in that man. And he really does a nice job with the teams that he manages. And I said last night, it was amazing that it took him so long to get back into the manager's chair after being so successful with the Blue Jays, winning back-to-back World Series titles in 1992 and 1993. Inside 2-2. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, chopped foul. And Rios got a good jump. With 1 out, he was taken off to try to stay out of a double play.
Yeah, they're running on the count there in that situation, 3-2 and 1 out. And you know, that'll probably make Moyer throw over there again now. And the whole idea of that, of course, is not to leave early, because you're not trying to steal the bag, you're running on the count.
Rios doesn't go. 3-2 off the end of the bat. A flare to center field coming on. Shane Victorino makes the running grab, and he should have an easy double play at first. Rios, he doesn't even bother going back to first base, and there is the double play to get Moyer out of the top of the 3rd inning. So the Blue Jays send 3 batters to the plate here in the 3rd. That's all they'll get as they lead it 4-0. Go to the bottom of the 3rd. By AT&T, your world delivered. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. 4-0 Toronto as we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Alex Rios is having himself a tough series.
Yeah, now this is last night when he had this snafu at third base on that ball that Scudero lined to left center. That would have tied the game on a sac fly. And you see Nick Leyva explained that before the game, that he was waving the runner at second because he thought his other guy had tagged up and left. Now right here he's not running on the count like he was last time. Misreads that ball to Shane Victorino, gets doubled off. So a real adventure. Now it was a pitch before that and he's running. It's different.
J-Roll tries to butt his way on it. Easy play for Barajas. And there's one away.
Trying to bunt his way on a lot more lately, which is a good thing, but you know, that's a bad bunt. Just a poorly executed bunt. He popped it up.
He dropped the head of the bat down and below the ball, and that's how it popped up. And you see Rios out there. Yeah, there's no doubt he thought about last night's play. I mean, tonight he's got a 4-0 lead. It's not as magnified right now, but he just ran his team out of an inning.
Yeah, he just misread that ball to Shane Victorino. Like we say, if the pitch before that, if he's running on 3-2, that's different. He's already down there. You know, now you're in no man's land. But in that case, just bad base running.
Shane singled his last time up. And the count 1-1 strike to him. Good breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
That's Roy Halladay right there on the right, who was supposed to pitch here tonight. I think he's going to go on Saturday in Washington.
Yeah, he was scheduled to throw a side session today just to see how the groin was going. Was healing. And Nick Leyva was saying before the ball game he wasn't sure if he actually got a chance to throw that side. He may do it tomorrow. Just the rain. Tarp was on the mound in the bullpen for most of the afternoon.
That's his pitching coach Brad Arnsbrook he's with, who used to be the Florida Marlins pitching coach, as did Rich Stube.
Shane Victorino down on strikes as Barajas takes care of him. That's the 5th strikeout as the putout goes 2-3. And there are 2 away here in the 3rd.
Well, the numbers against left-handed hitters are not good, and he's just dominating the left-handed hitters with that breaking ball tonight. And it's a curveball more than any. He struck out Ibanez on a slider. These other strikeouts are on curveballs. So they just are not having a real good approach to young Scott Richmond early. Not that young. He's 30 years old.
Richmond is the 14th Canadian to appear in a Blue Jays uniform and the 6th pitcher. And he delivers a pitch for a strike to Chase Utley. It's a slider, and the count is 0-1.
Signed by Rob Ducey, who's a scout for them now. Used to play for the Phillies and is a native Canadian. See Rob during spring training. Still makes his home in the Clearwater area.
I mentioned that he's been in and out of the starting rotation. The Blue Jays, they had some pretty good starters on paper during the offseason. You know, Dustin McGowan, who 2 years ago won 12 games. He was 6-7 last year. He's on the DL. Jesse Lish, who won 13 games last year. Tommy John surgery. And then you have Sean Markham, who won 12 games 2 years ago. He also is battling back from Tommy John surgery.
And they're hanging in there.
1-2 the count to Chase. And Chase is down on strikes. And that's the 2nd time that Richmond has gotten Chase Utley with that breaking ball. And the Phillies are retired in order here at the bottom of the 3rd. Poncho still being tried here at Citizens Bank Park. Jays lead it 4-0. On to MLB.com or ProstateCancerFoundation.org for more information on how you can help. Well, we go to the top of the fourth inning. Blue Jays are leading it 4-0, and each and every year here at Citizens Bank Park, we're pleased to bring on former Dodger manager, the great Tommy Lasorda, and also Michael Milken, and they're here to talk about the Prostate Cancer Foundation and Major League Baseball's endeavor as far as the Home Run Challenge goes. And, it's going on right now, June 11th through the 21st. And those two gentlemen join us now. Guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I dedicate my time to Michael.
And all the men in America. And it's great to be in the ballpark of the world's champion Phillies.
Well, it's been a great year to feel the energy of this ballpark. And you picked the right team, too, Michael, to have home runs be part of the foundation. I know it's something that Major League Baseball has done for a number of years, but this is the perfect team to have be part of this.
Right, they can hit.
You're not kidding. We came here a couple years ago. Tommy said it looked like an 8-home run evening. It was Philadelphia versus Texas, and I think we had 7 by the bottom of the third.
Unbelievable. Here's Scott Richmond, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Scott Richmond. All right, in 2008, there were 143 home runs hit during the 60 games that were designated for the Home Run Challenge. And how important was that, guys, to have all those home runs, all that money donated to the foundation?
Well, we've actually been able to match $25 for every dollar raised. So raising almost $3 million turns into almost $75 million, and 100% of it goes to research.
We can ask you to call 1-800-798-CURE or 2873 if you want to donate money toward prostate cancer research. And how will the players receive this, guys? I know that we'll see the wristbands this Father's Day, and the blue wristbands which you're wearing, Michael. And
well, we have our wristbands and that blue eye glare, which all the announcers, that's really the key.
We have to wear eye glare?
And the umpires, etc. But what a beautiful ballpark, being able to see downtown Philadelphia. And obviously, both Tommy and I have spent a lot of time in the Philadelphia area.
Now, well, Michael came up with this idea of doing this to try to create funds that will all go to research, and one day we hope and pray that we'll be able to find a cure for it. And if it's anybody that's going to do it, it's him.
Well, with the help from a lot of doctors and a lot of research going on in the Philadelphia area. But the theme was keep Dad in the game. Go get checked for prostate cancer. 1 in 6 men get prostate cancer. And over the 14 years since this program started, the death rate has dropped from projections almost 50%. And we think in about 4 or 5 years, we'll essentially have eliminated prostate cancer as a cause of death.
Wow, that's great.
And Major League Baseball, the Phillies, your great leadership with Dave Montgomery, and this beautiful ballpark. It's hard not to want to come watch the Phillies play.
3-1 the count now to Marcos.
We should pick up a few thousand before this game's over, Michael.
well, we have almost 20,000 pledged tonight for every home run.
Great.
Wow, that's great.
That's tremendous.
And coming to see the Phillies play, that's really a key. We saw the Phillies last week versus the Mets, and they had a phenomenal comeback to win that game.
Well, and people, as I mentioned, can donate and match by calling 800-798-CURE or 2873, or they can log on to PCF.org.
And they can follow Tommy travel around. A couple years ago, we saw all 30 baseball teams play in 20 days. So, if you have nothing to do in between games, you can go to 2 to 3 games a day with us.
So now where are you guys going after this? Where are your travels taking you after tonight?
Well, tonight we're heading up to New York. Tomorrow we're going to see the Yankees play Washington, and then tomorrow night Baltimore play the Mets. So we have a doubleheader tomorrow.
That's great. And now the response for the players, I know, has been outstanding from a community standpoint for a number of different programs. How has their response been as Hill rolls this one to shortstop? That's going to be hitting. Real quick, Michael, how's the response been from the players?
It's been driven, obviously. Our player rep in this team is Utley.
Yep.
We couldn't have a better player rep, so each team has a player rep. And our lead manager for the whole major leagues was Charlie Manuel.
Charlie Manuel, a good
Charlie's
guy.
Great. He was a Dodger.
He was a Dodger. See, I knew Tommy would try to put that one in there. Well, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
PCF.org is where you can match the funds. Please do it now. Bottom of the fourth inning. Jays lead it 4-0.
It's guys like you that help us to make it.
$15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. And buy Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, the rain continues to fall here at Citizens Bank Park. Blue Jays lead it 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Gary Matthews joins us as Ryan Howard pops the first pitch up down the left field line. That's going to be in foul territory, and Scott Rowland's not going to get there. And it's 0-1. Sarge, what are you seeing so far from Scott Richmond that's keeping the Phillies hitters off balance?
Well, he's throwing breaking balls, setting them up with the fastball. Hitting counts, he's been going to off-speed pitches. And so far, he's had the upper hand.
I have to admit, his motion his mechanics are outstanding as he comes to the plate. You know, it just seems like he's hiding the ball enough, and as you said, he's throwing those off-speed pitches for strikes.
Well, he's coming right over the top, too. Has a little bit of a cutter, it looks like, that he throws that's inside, or that hard slider, and so far he's been able to hit the spots. Well, the key, however, is to get ahead of the hitters, and he's been doing that. Six strikeouts up to this point.
6 strikeouts and 1 walk, and the 1 walk was to Ryan Howard his last time up. And that one's hit in the air to right center field. Wells on the run. It's a sinking line drive. He won't get there, and the Phillies have their 4th base hit of the evening. Time now for our Dodge Stump the Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com, go to the fan forum section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Now, the question for Wheels, Sarge, and this is something that you can help him with. Who was the backup shortstop on the 1993 World Series champion Blue Jays that is a relative of a current Phillies player?
Oh, Wills will know that, no problem.
You think so?
Oh, I got to tell you, he's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to knowing different trivia about baseball. You kidding me?
Oh, Ibanez takes a strike. Ibanez struck out his first time up. He's been complaining, Wheels has, Sarge, that the question's been a little tougher lately.
Complaining? Wills? Come on.
1-1 the count.
Well, it's a little bit easier for him. He likes to always have the answers and then say, well, I knew the answer anyway. But hey, we'll test him again as he comes in. And I'd like to hear that buzzer on him.
Hot shot toward the middle. Scudero has it, flips it to second for one. What a flip and what a double play. The second double play of the night for the Blue Jays, and Scudero was so casual with that flip.
Well, they're experts when it comes to flipping that ball out of the glove. You got to have soft hands. You can see him just flip it over, and they practice on this. 6-4-3 double play. Ball hit awful hard. One of the reasons you don't see Ibanez there getting there late, because the ball was hit so hard.
And Raul's been hampered a little bit by that sore Achilles. Well, that ball was, as Sarge said, smoke, but Scudero flipped that ball before Aaron Hill was even at the second base bag. And the count 1-1 strike to Jason Worth.
First pitch to Jason, fastball that was up and in his first time at bat. They'll do that to Jason to make him less aggressive at the plate.
Scudero has made just one error this year. As we mentioned, he has filled in very nicely and become the everyday shortstop. As Worth sends one to the air, deep to right center field. Rios going back, warning track, wall, gone! And Jason Worth with his 5th home run against the Jays in the last 2 seasons. And he's put the Phillies on the board here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That maybe was an opposite field shot.
Haven't seen him do this very often. High fastball. He leaves it right up there. Again, more of an angry swing. I'm sure he's tired of those balls coming up and in. He had a good cut at a slider, just missed it. Then hit that fastball out of the ballpark.
Well, Pedro Feliz takes a whack at the first pitch and hits it foul. 11th home run of the year for Jason Worth. And it also means that Aubrey Weissman of Merchantsville, New Jersey has just won $100 courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot. That one hits sharply, but it rolls right to Hill. The mound kept it down and away from the center of the diamond, and Feliz is retired. But Jason Worth hits a home run here to help out prostate cancer research and the foundation. It's his 11th of the year. Cincinnati Reds are trailing the Atlanta Braves 2-1. They're going to be in town on Monday, July 6th for the start of a 4-game series. It all wraps up with an Independence Blue Cross fireworks night on Thursday, July 9th. You can order your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Vernon Wells leads things off here at the top of the 5th inning. As Jamie Moyer tries to continue to quiet this Jays offense, give his team a chance to pull even closer. Wells hits one in the air, right field. And Jason Worth is there. And there's one out. Well, there is Wheels going through a book right there, and he might be researching that Dodged Up the Fans trivia quiz answer, and he's also getting some help from Big Mike, who's coming over to whisper his advice. Mike Luongo.
Well, you know, he's going to search for a little help to try and get that answer. See if he knows.
Scott Rowland with that. Takes one outside. That's not the easiest question to research either, Sarge. Backup shortstop for the Jays. That's a relative of the Phillies. Pop up straight away center field. 2 easy outs for Jamie Moyer.
Well, Jamie getting that ball in on the hands of Rowland. Wells, he had him off the end of the bat. Those are the type of balls that Jamie wants those hitters to be able to swing at. You see, watch where this ball is. Got in on it. You can see he wasn't able to get his hands in or clear his hips. Jamie getting in with 84 as he's disgusted and throws the bat down.
Adam Lind 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out. Hits that one sharply through the hole. And he's got a base hit with 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. That hit is the 8th allowed by Jamie. And he has reached 76 pitches in tonight's game. Last couple of innings have been much more manageable than the first couple of innings for Jamie.
Well, the one thing, though, they've been having pretty good at bats since the first inning. Hitting balls or staying up the middle. Hitting some balls pretty hard.
Good off speed pitch, and it's 0-2.
That's where he wants to live, on that outside part of the plate, preferably down. When he thinks that hitters are looking away, he will come in, preferably off the plate inside.
Got it off the end of the bat. There's J-Roll. Flips to second, and the inning is over. So, a couple pretty easy innings for Jamie Moyer. That's a good sign. We played 4.5 here in Philadelphia. It's 4-1 Toronto. For this Phillies ball club this entire year. I was talking to Peter Pasquarelli, who works for ESPN, writes some columns for them, and he said, this place, and he goes around the country to different spots. He said this place has become one of the most happening places in Major League Baseball.
No doubt about it.
That is very true.
Winning, well, not winning the way that they should, but winning last year and then coming here. It's always a full house. They're very knowledgeable of what's going on here. The fans are.
Let's begin the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phillies trail at 4-1.
Rain starting to come down a little bit harder.
One of the things that sets Citizens Bank Park aside from a lot of other ballparks, and some of the newer places are trying to emulate it, is the fact that you can go really anywhere around the park and still see the action. As Chris Coast falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes to start the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, you got to like how open it is and being able to visit all different parts of the ballpark, undercover as well.
Which is good when it's raining like now. 1-2 pitch. And he went after a slider, and that's the 7th strikeout for Richmond. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Finish the Phillies game with Greg Murphy and former pitcher Ricky Bottalico's extensive game breakdown, plus player reactions on Sloan Toyota presents Phillies postgame live after the game and only on Comcast Sportsnet. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tonight, the Phillies, before the ball game, celebrated the legacy of Jackie Robinson. It was also the Faith and Family celebration. The Phillies donated $11,000 to the Jackie Robinson Foundation, which was raised earlier this year when the Phillies Charities had a silent auction. That was a month ago. One and 2 the count to Jamie Moyer. And Sarge, doesn't matter what time of the year it is that we celebrate the career of Jackie Robinson. His number is in every ballpark retired, his number 42. But it doesn't matter where we go, you understand the impact that he had on this great game.
Very intelligent player, very intelligent man.
You see Jackie's resume. 1947 Rookie of the Year when he broke the color barrier. 6-time All-Star, inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1962.
Wow.
And Jamie's down on strikes. That's the 8th strikeout for Richmond. And Jackie's legacy lives on, not only on the field, but also off the field. And earlier today, Ryan Howard introduced the Ryan Howard Family Foundation. And he was on hand at the Fairmount Park Conservancy to announce his new foundation. And it's a great legacy that Ryan will leave for the folks here in Philadelphia and wherever the foundation touches.
Yeah,
very
that's
impressive.
Very good tribute too, though, to his parents raising him the way that they did, wanting to give back. And again, a lot of the Phillies players, they do give back in the community and do a lot for it.
So today was the introduction of the brand new Ryan Howard Family Foundation. I think it also establishes, the impact that Ryan wants to continue to have here in the great city of Philadelphia.
Well, they obviously care about the city, and not only just winning, but the people that are in the city.
3-1 the count to Jimmy Rollins with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. It's full, 3-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals, thanks to a Nick Johnson 2-run triple, lead the Yankees 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees squeaked out a win last night against Washington. Jin-Ming Wong pitching for New York. Jimmy pops it up. Shallow center field. Scudero on the run, and the shortstop is there. And it's a 1-2-3 5th inning for Scott Richmond. 4 in a row retired by the right-hander. He has struck out 8. The rain continues to fall as we go to the 6th inning. 11th inning game-winning home run. On the flip side, it is Jason who has glistened in the outfield, traveling all around Citi Field, defending his position and laying it all out for a Phillies win. This combo effort is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Oh, some of the scores around the interleague schedule from tonight. Orioles lead the Mets 3-2, and they're threatening in the bottom of the 5th inning. They have 2 runners on. Milwaukee shutting out Cleveland 3-0 in the top of the 4th inning. I mentioned that Nationals-Yankee game. Boston is on top of the Marlins 2-1 in the bottom of the 4th. And out in Kansas City, Arizona and the Royals even at 1, but the Diamondbacks have a runner on second with 2 away at the top of the 2nd inning. Here it's 4-1 Toronto as we begin the top of the 6th inning. I mentioned that the American League must have had a good night last night because they were only a few games over 500 going into play last night. They've kind of taken control of the interleague scoreboard coming into tonight's game.
Well, I mean, just looking at some of the different clubs, they have an awful lot of good clubs in the American League, and particularly in that Eastern Division.
0-2 the count to Lyle Overbay. And it's 1-2. Well, Sarge Wheels and I were talking before about the continued domination of the American League in interleague play. And it remains 1-2. And I ask you as a former player, what's your thoughts as to why the American League has had the number of the National League over the years?
It's very simple. They're better. They have better pitching. I mean, all the way around. Look at that Boston bullpen. And when you hear other players in that National League talk about the American League, now you get a sense of exactly who is who and who's doing what. And they'll talk about it. Pitching is tough. Pitching is tougher. Manny Ramirez said that same thing. The pitching is tougher there.
Good off-speed pitch, and Overbay's down on strikes for out number 1. So 1 away, and Moyer has the first out here at the top of the 6th inning. As we head toward the number 8 spot in this order, and Rod Barajas, who homered his first time up, 1 for 2. I guess it's interesting, Sarge, to think about that every year it seems like, and maybe it's cyclical, and this is just a long cycle, that the American League has been better.
Well, again, it starts there on that mound. And you can go to the hitters and see the different hitters. And I noticed one thing. Those Boston players, they grind out at bats. And they mentally tear the pitcher down with so many good at bats. You got Philly hitters that do the same thing, but not as much as we saw in Boston, as Barajas picking on one of the deepest part of the field there.
Lines that one fouled. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Now, anytime you get a player that has been with a club and he comes back to play the club, well, they get up to play against them. Want to show them that they made a mistake. And Barajas, to his credit, has been swinging the bat well.
Well, he's down on strikes here as he foul tips into the glove of Coast. Back-to-back strikeouts for Moyer. There are 2 away here in the top of the 6th inning.
High fastball out of the zone. Jamie Moyer expands the zone on Barajas. Maybe the best thing to do is not throw him a strike.
Scott Richwood has struck out twice, and he nubs one foul, and it's 0-1. And it's no balls at 2 strikes. See the comparison between the 2 starters tonight. Jamie has allowed 8 hits and 4 runs. Richmond, meanwhile, 8 strikeouts and 5 hits. And now Jamie's making Mike Riley work on his toss back to the mound. He's working through one ball after another, try to find one that he likes.
Well, you want to go with some urgency here and try and get that offense to clicking. See if they can get to where they can tie this game up or go ahead. Just the steady rain that's coming down now. It seems to be getting a little bit harder, but it is steady.
Called strike three, and Jamie has struck out the side here at the top of the sixth inning. Third time that he's gotten Richmond in tonight's ball game. 1, 2, 3 go the Jays. The umbrellas are up, and the Phillies trail it by 3. Call 1-800-JEFF now. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Now there's Al Mumford out there trying to keep the camera dry and keep himself dry. It looks like he's got some pretty good setup with the umbrella. He's not even holding the umbrella, but he is staying dry, and it's staying up as well.
Well, those cameramen, you know, they know how to do it.
Now that dome is not staying dry, Sarge.
Reminds me of yours, kind of. Except for your hair is on the side instead of the side of the face.
I was going to say, not down on the face or the chin.
I'll take care of that.
There's Jamie Moyer, who's talking to Chris Coast about, looks like the way Chris is setting up behind home plate, where he wants him to set up, all those things. And I say that with not really understanding what Jamie's talking to Chris about.
Well, if he's talking about setting up, it's simple. A target in a certain place where he feels comfortable and where he throws to most of the time.
Shane Victorino leads it off in the home sixth inning. He's 1 for 2 tonight, and he rips one foul.
Well, Richmond doing a good job, though, again, of keeping the ball inside. Borderline strike, so that when you hit the ball, you end up pulling it.
That one slipped right out of his hand.
Yep. That's what happens when it rains. See him going, getting a little rosin.
And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Richmond's career high in strikeouts. This is a guy who only pitched in 5 games last year for the Blue Jays, and this is his 13th game this year. Career high in strikeouts is 5 for a game, so he's blown that away. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Shane.
Well, his game plan so far has been he gets ahead and then getting the hitters to swing at the breaking ball. Phillies have aggressive hitters. They're fastball type hitters. So to combat that, Richmond has been throwing off-speed pitches. And cutter he's been throwing in.
Line drive, 1 hopper knocked down by Overbay. No race Victorino to the bag. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, Tuesday, July 7th, when the Cincinnati Reds come to town, all fans 14 and under will receive the Verizon Phillies beach towel. I saw that beach towel today, and it's pretty good looking. It features Jimmy Rollins, Cole Hamels, Ryan Howard, and Chase Utley. There are tickets still available. There's the beach towel right there. You can log on to Phillies.com. And all around the Jersey Shore this year, Sarge, that beach towel is going to be laid out along beaches and pools and everything else.
You have yours?
I do not have mine. I will not receive one, just like you, until after the fans receive
I'd like to be able to see you out there laying out on the beach with that towel. Maybe 2 towels.
I was going to say that it would need a couple of them. Chase takes one low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Chase has struck out twice.
Another breaking ball. That ball down in the zone. Again, Phillies hitters are used to hitting fastball. They can hit the breaking ball. They'd rather hit the fastball. Jason Worth picking on a fastball, driving it out to right center.
Well, the Grill and the Monkey, they don't seem to be bothered by the rain at all, Sarge.
Oh, well, they're used to the rain. They like that rain, cooling them off.
The Monkey doesn't look like it's sagging at all. Soaking it in.
Like it's sagging?
Well, you know, the stem.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I said Gorilla and the Monkey. I said the Gorilla or the Monkey.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. In the air to shallow right field. It's a mile high. Rios, the right fielder, through the rain, makes the catch. And that's the second out. So Chase is retired. And is now 6 in a row. He's got to be careful.
Only 3 runs now. Game still manageable. If this rain can keep away. Fighting Fields usually make a charge sometime during the course of the game.
Ryan hits one the opposite way, a foul ball. It's 0-1. Well, the struggles the Phillies have had here at home, and we've talked about it. They're 13-17 here in Philadelphia. And each and every day it seems like the coaches are posed with the question. Charlie Manuel's posed with the question. And the appeal, and Ryan did not go around, according to Eric Cooper. And I think if anybody had the answer, they could probably solve the problem.
Well, there is no answer why guys don't hit. And this is a good hitting ballpark. Sometimes that's just the way that it goes. That's why this game is so unpredictable. Usually you do play a lot better at home simply because you do have your fans, but it's been just the opposite.
9 strikeouts for Richmond as he gets Ryan Howard foul tip and one into the glove of Rod Barajas. We have completed 6 here at Citizens Bank Park, and Scott Richmond has handled the Phils.
now here at Citizens Bank Rock. Started out as a game where the Phillies thought maybe they could do something, especially their left-handed hitters off this young pitcher, Scott Richmond, but they certainly haven't been able to do much. He's been striking them out with regularity. Brad Barajas with a solo home run. They built up a 4-0 lead. Jason Worth, he continues to hit home runs against the Blue Jays, but look at Richmond. 9 strikeouts. And the first home run hit off him by a right-handed hitter this year is Jason Worth. 9 by left-handed hitters, and they've been punching out a lot tonight, Tom.
Yeah, the left-handers are 2 for 13 against Richmond so far. As we begin the top of the 7th inning, Jamie Moyer with 94 pitches under his belt, facing the top of the order. Marco Scutaro, who has singled twice in his walk. He's been on base 3 times. And the rain continues to fall here in Philadelphia. And Jamie's fallen behind 2-0. You know, we mentioned before that the Blue Jays were threatening to put another pitcher or 2 on the disabled list before the game to join Casey Jansen, who was scheduled to start tomorrow's game. He was placed on the DL earlier. Well, they have decided to put Roy Halladay on the DL, and Cito Gaston also has to put his closer Scott Downs on the DL.
And they said Jason Frazier will be their closer now. They're bringing Jeremy Accardo up, a right-hander who we've seen a lot of over the years. And tomorrow they will pitch a young left-hander named Brad Mills.
So how about that? All 5 of the pitchers who they thought were going to be their starters, let's say a year ago, are on the disabled list now.
Yeah, and they're still playing pretty well, but that's a heck of a blow to them. And it says Halladay is due to come off the DL on the 28th of June, and that would be the final game of the series against the Phillies in Toronto if they decide to pitch him that day. Doing a little homework.
Just projecting, looking at off days.
Well, you know, no, it's on that story on MLB.com.
Oh, okay.
Between you know, got to read a little bit of that stuff, so see what's going on in MLB.
Aaron Hill, the batter, he's 1 for 3, and he takes one inside. It's 1-0. A base hit, by the way, by Scutaro, the 9th of the game for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have talked about whether Aaron Hill will represent them in this year's All-Star game. He is currently 4th in the voting in the American League at second base. And the other 3 second basemen who are ahead of him, Ian Kinsler, Dustin Pedroia, and Robinson Cano. And in reality, if you look at Aaron Hill's numbers, as he waits for the 1-1. It's in the air to deep left field. Ibanez going back to the warning track, and it's gone. 2-run home run for Aaron Hill, his 15th of the year, and it's 6-1 Toronto. And if you do look at his numbers, they've just gotten even better. 46 RBIs, make it 47. And Charlie Manuel's team is down by 5.
He's trying to get another inning out of Jamie Moyer so he doesn't have to go to that beleaguered bullpen, and unfortunately wasn't able to do it. Now he's got to make a change. You know, he knows after 6 innings he's, you know, a lot of nights he's on borrowed time with Jamie, and in this case looked like a high changeup. And talked about that Aaron Hill last night. You know, this guy's a player, boy. He's a good looking ball player, but you get some of those bigger market teams that draw a lot. You know, the voters are going to have more votes for those guys you mentioned, Tom.
Well, and of the 3 second basemen ahead of him, really only Robinson Cano is in his neighborhood from a batting average standpoint, and Ian Kinsler is in his neighborhood from a power standpoint, and that continues to rise with that 2-run home run. Jamie Moyer's night is done. 10 hits and 6 runs over 6+ innings. Chad Durbin's night, well, that's just beginning here in the top of the 7th inning. computer with MLB.tv. The ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Phillies.com, where baseball is always on. Well, Jamie Moyer's night is done as he sits in the dugout next to Rich Doobie. He allowed 10 hits and 6 runs over 6+ innings. A 2-run home run by Aaron Hill. He has 3 RBIs, just ended Jamie's night. And it also brought in Chad Durbin in his 33rd game. Chad 1-2 with a 3.75 ERA. Phillies have had 4 extra inning games in their last 6 ball games, and the bullpen during that time has averaged 5 innings of work. Here's Vernon Wells with nobody out. He takes a strike on the inside corner. Phillies bullpen has a team ERA of 3.73 coming into tonight's ball game. Now, it's obviously from a numbers standpoint not where the Phillies were last year when they had the best bullpen in the National League, but boy, they have worked a lot.
Yeah, and way too much. And you know, nobody knows that more than the manager. And you know, the guys out in the bullpen, they're going to come in and pitch. I mean, that's what they do. That's their job. But you know, some nights they just can't go.
Called strike 3. Wells is rung up for the first out here in the 7th inning. And what a way for Scott Rowland. 3 good pitches by Durbin. Rowland is 1 for 3. The one was an RBI single in the first inning. It was his 24th career RBI against the Phillies. And he hits one in the air deep down the left field line. That one is hooking toward the corner, and that one is gone. Second home run of the inning for the Blue Jays. And for Rowland, who hasn't hit a whole lot of home runs this year, his 4th. And it's now 7-1 Toronto.
Yeah, Scott Rowland, you know, whether or not the shoulder, he says his shoulder feels really good. That left shoulder that's given him so much trouble. But as you mentioned, Tom, he hasn't been hitting a lot of home runs, but hitting for average. There he got a fastball, ran right back into the middle of the plate, put a little short swing on it, and that was out by plenty. Typical Scott Rowland, by the time you look up, he's at home plate. The way he runs around the bases after a home run. That's just always been his style.
Adam Lynn pulls one foul. Well, that is the 3rd career home run for Rowland against the Phillies. And not only is he hit in 7 straight, but his batting average continues to rise. Came in 6th in the league in batting average. On the hands, it's a pop-up to shallow left. Ibanez makes the catch, and there are 2 away here at the top of the 7th inning. That'll leave things for Rios, who's 1 for 3. An RBI and a ground out his first time up. He singled in the 3rd. This is outside, 1-0.
Just heard Mike Riley whistle, and he looked over towards where the ground crew is, and I think what he's asking for is when this half inning ends that they'll come out and put some stuff down there, whatever we call it, diamond dry or whatever, that will take up some of the moisture.
It's been raining pretty hard for the last few innings, but you know, the infield has taken a pretty good beating, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape. And there is that diamond dry.
Yeah.
What is it called? Calcium clay? Is that what it says there on the bag?
That's what it looks like.
Calcified clay.
Calcified clay, yeah. You could see that he wanted them out there as soon as they can get out after this inning ends.
Line drive toward the gap in left center field. Victorino on the run. Nice grab. And the inning is over. Blue Jays, though, with a little bit of damage. A 2-run home run by Aaron Hill. That came against Jamie Moyer. And then a home run by Scott Rowland. It was a solo shot against Chad Durbin. And the Jays are on top 7-1. Up shortstop on the Toronto Blue Jays during the 1993 World Series that is a relative of a current Phillies player.
Well, I just got a hint.
Oh.
All right, I got it. You know, I'm not going to know that. I know Tony Fernandez. Yeah, I understand I was accused of looking something up. Well, how could I look it up when I didn't even know the question?
Well, I figured you researched it before the game.
Well, you think I sneak into the pile of
through,
cards?
Christine Connor's pile of cards and said, "Oh, I got it."
I don't do that. You know, St. Anastasia's taught me better than that.
Well, it was Sarge that thought you did it.
Well, you say he's from an athletic family, but I didn't even know this guy was on that team. But it has to be a Schofield, so then it would be Jason Worth. But I wouldn't have known that without the hint.
So Dick Schofield, the uncle of Jason Worth, who played in more than 1,300 games during his career.
And his daddy was a major league player, too.
Yeah, Ducky Schofield won a World Series with the 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates. The diamond dry was tossed out in between innings.
You mentioned that it was a very athletic family, so that's certainly that family, because Jason Worth's mom, as we talked about quite a bit, is a heck of an athlete.
Yeah, his mom, Kim, was a fantastic athlete, competed at the U.S. Olympic trials in long jump in the 100 meters. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Or on some nights, Dodge Stump the Wheels.
Most of the nights. Tony Fernandez was a heck of a shortstop.
Oh, he was a good player.
And Roberto Alomar, of course, was a double play combination on that team that beat the Phillies.
1-1 the count to Ibanez here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Look at this job this Richmond has done here tonight, and this came out of nowhere. I'm sure for the Phillies and for the Blue Jays. They were talking today in a story about him that location. Well, he came out throwing a good curveball tonight, which I think kind of surprised these left-handed hitters, and they haven't adjusted.
And for the most part, he's worked ahead of the hitters, which has made that breaking ball, the off-speed stuff, a little easier to manage.
Yeah, sure. And that's the whole location part of it, that he throws some early strikes, and you know, he's used his slider effectively, and the guy's got 9 strikeouts. He's done a good job.
3-1 the count to Raul. And it's 3-2.
And they've helped him a little. Rain has let up a little bit, which is what the forecast was for tonight. You know, it's going to be one of those off and on and try and play through it nights.
Well, they've played through it, and the Blue Jays have played through it to the tune of 7 runs on 11 hits. And Richmond now with 10 strikeouts as he gets Ibanez for the 2nd time.
Another slider. He's had a good slider and a good curveball tonight. Here we'll take a look, and you'll see a lot of these strikeouts. We were talking about a compact delivery. There's a curveball. Slider. That was curveball. Man, one hook after another. And this is a heck of a double play there. They start that he helps himself to roll, and then over there on a bunt attempt. And then Scudero started an unbelievable double play on a ball hit by Ibanez.
How casual he was flipping that ball with his glove to second base, Scudero was. And you see the line on Richmond. 10 strikeouts and 6 1/3, and Jason Worth is got the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Wheels mentioned the trek that Richmond made to the big leagues. He was a pitcher in college at Oklahoma State. It's a very good program. 1-2 to Worth. And then wound up in the independent leagues for 3 years in Canada.
Bouncing all over the place in Canada. Undrafted player. And mentioned he went to a tryout, and Rob Ducey signed him out of the tryout.
Played for the Edmonton Cracker Cats.
That sounds like a hockey team.
Yeah, it does sound like a hockey team. In the Golden Baseball League. He gets Jason Worth to swing at that one. He's off balance. Rios is there. 2 away. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. 9 in a row retired by Richmond since the home run by Jason Worth. And with 2 outs, Joe Feliz, who is 1 for 2, will bat. Richmond's career high was 5 strikeouts. And that was in August of last year against the Cleveland Indians. Pedro pulls that one to shortstop. And Scudero throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Scott Richmond. 3 straight 1-2-3 innings. He's retired 10 consecutive batters. We've played 7. Toronto leads it by 6. Acura Advance by W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices. And by McDonald's. Introducing McDonald's McCafe coffees. Try hot or cold iced mochas, lattes, and cappuccinos. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Well, we go to the top of the 8th inning. Jack Tashner's the new pitcher for the Phillies. Left-hander comes on for Chad Durbin, who is credited with an inning. He allowed a home run in that inning. So Tashner in his 18th ball game, 1-1 with a 4.76 ERA. And he'll come on here to face the bottom third of the Blue Jays order. Well, the crowd tonight, which is somewhat dissipated because of the weather and because of the way this game has gone, 42,091. Tomorrow the Phillies are expecting a sellout. Final game of this 3-game series. And they'll turn to Joe Blanton. Overbay leads it off here in the top of the 8th inning. Brad Mills will start tomorrow for the Blue Jays.
Left-hander.
Overbay is 0 for 3. He is struck out, grounded out, popped into a double play. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
Just wanted you to know Sarge threw you under the bus.
Oh, did he?
He said that you accused me of cheating.
Oh, maybe it was me.
Okay.
A little flare to center, but he agreed with me.
You two are really just what a great team.
Well, we had, we had you in the other side of the press box, and Mike Luongo came over, and we thought maybe Mike was there to help you too with the question and the answer, and we were kind of just weaving the story together for you.
Well, there was just so much misinformation.
There's the video. Look, you're looking through a book. You got your glasses on. There's Mike coming over, and you're saying, what, Mike? Oh, Dick Schofield? No. See, it was all perfect.
Well, it's like the CIA. Huh? I'm telling you. It's amazing. You can't even go over there to the other end of the press box and hang out.
We have eyes everywhere, Wheels. Wow. Here's Rod Barajas, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes to Barajas, who homered back in the 2nd inning. You sold it well, though, Wheels, that you didn't know it until you got the hint.
I didn't know it until I got a really good hint. I mean, I had to know it after the hint I got.
What was the hint?
The hint was it's from a very, very athletic family. You know, and it's a Philly. I mean, who else could it be? Schofield Worth. Well, I didn't know up till then.
And Barajas walks on 4 pitches, so he's aboard with 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning. And Richmond's going to bat here in the top of the 8th. Why not? He has been in total control tonight. The only thing he has not done is swung the bat well. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Well, they could care less about that, huh?
That's exactly right. He's up there squaring. And he takes one for a strike.
It's got to be a little bit scary. You know, last night Down sprains his toe coming out of the batter's box. You could see he had done something to his foot.
And it's 0-2, and that got a piece of Mike Riley.
That's what Mike Riley needed. You know, the thing you worry about when you haven't bunted a whole lot like that, maybe you slide your hands up too much, you get a finger in the way. He's apologizing to Mike Riley. That's nice.
And there's strike 3, and Richmond is down for the 4th time tonight. And there are 2 away. Well, this is what happened last night with Downs.
Yeah, you see he swings at it, and right there he comes up hobbling, and you kind of figured it's something to do with his foot, and it turns out to be a sprained big toe. And he said he was thinking about taking the pitch, but then the kid in him took over when he saw it in the middle, and he said, I hit it pretty good. He said, I just didn't run very well.
Well, once he had some pain in the box, he probably should have just stopped at that point.
Yeah.
2 outs for Marco Scutaro. 1 ball, no strikes to Scutaro. They took the X-ray last night, and that didn't show anything. The MRI today, though, that showed the problem. And the fact that he was limping around kind of showed the problem, too.
It'll be tough to play with a sprained big toe. That's really got to hurt. Just keep them dry, Tom.
Yep. With Richmond's success, they may not be used. Hot shot, backhanded by Feliz. Behind the bag, nice throw, and the inning is over. Good defense again by Pedro Feliz. Blue Jays strand a runner here in the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Chris Coste to lead things off. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. A couple home runs, a lot of strikeouts for Scott Richmond as we begin the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, and they may think about taking him out of this game if he gets in any trouble, or maybe he's on a pitch count at this point because they have the bullpen up as the inning begins.
And that liner just woke up Dwayne Murphy. He's got the helmet on in the dugout. It hit the front of that dugout. And Dwayne Murphy, who was a heck of an outfielder for the Oakland A's. He may have been snoozing a little bit.
He played here a little bit for the Phillies too. I think maybe just 1 year. Is that all right if I look it up?
You can look that up.
Thank you.
That one's in the air to center. And Vernon Wells will take care of it. 12 in a row now retired. Or 11 in a row, excuse me, by Richmond. And Greg Dobbs will pinch hit for the Phillies.
He was here in 1989 when Nick Labor was the manager.
It's a pretty good speed, too, as an outfielder. B.J. Ryan is the left-hander, and Dirk Hayhurst is the right-hander.
Interesting, they did not give the closer's job to B.J. Ryan after Downs went down last night, and they have said that Jason Frazier, will be the guy to close, and certainly not a close situation right now.
See Dobbs' numbers. Pitch hitting here, hitting 175. Jack Tastener's night is done. He pitched the scoreless top of the 8th inning.
Phillies are going to use Tyler Walker in the 9th inning, it looks like. They got into the game last night there. Look at the left-handed hitters against Richmond tonight. And the numbers we gave at the beginning, the telecast seemed like maybe a portent for a big night for the left-handed hitters, Tom.
Yeah, coming into this ballgame, the lefties were hitting .289 against Richmond with 9 home runs. He had not allowed a home run to a right-handed hitter.
Last year they hit .426 off him.
Well, I guess he figured something out while being in the bullpen.
Well, that curveball was an equalizer tonight.
Well, both curveball and slider.
Yeah, and we said at the beginning that when a right-handed pitcher has trouble against left-handed hitters, it's normally because everything's the same speed. Throws hard. They love that. So he came out with that curveball tonight, and that was a big change of speed.
Well, he's got a left-hander here in Dobbs as he looks in to get the signs. And Dobbs is down on strikes, and it's the 11th strikeout of the night for Richmond.
Yeah, no doubt what that pitch was again. A hook.
Got 11 strikeouts for this kid.
Look how he could strike out high against the Phillies this year by an individual pitcher, and this could be it. There's another curveball, and a left-handed hitter just swinging over it.
The lefty's now 2 for 17 against it with 9 strikeouts. And Rollins sends one in the air to left field. Easy play for Lind, and another 1-2-3 inning for Richmond. That is 4 straight 1-2-3 innings for the Blue Jays right-hander. He's retired 13 in a row as we go to the 9th. Well, the Phillies Festival will take place this Monday. Autograph World Series trophy photo booth tickets that are still available. With the admission ticket, you can get the grab bag, plus a chance that every roll's a winner. Wheels and I will be there for that. The dunk tank, which will feature the Phillies ball girls, plus the silent auction items, such as the 2008 autographed balls, bats, jerseys, and much more. Proceeds will benefit the ALS Association, the Greater Philadelphia chapter. Call 215-463-1000 or log on to Phillies.com to check out the information. There's Brad Arnsberg, who is talking to Scott Richmond, tonight's starting pitcher. Brad is the pitching coach, and you know, whether he comes out to pitch the bottom of the ninth inning, well, that remains to be seen. But what we have seen is a very impressive performance tonight by him.
And amen, Tom. This is what Tyler Walker did last night. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a double to left center field
to Rod Barajas.
By Rod Barajas, yeah. Off a low breaking pitch.
Aaron Hill swings at the first pitch, and the count is 0-1.
There is somebody out in the bullpen still standing there.
Looks like it's B.J. Ryan, who's just fiddling around with the rosin bag and has his glove on. It is Ryan.
Yeah, so that would indicate that that's it. Well, what a strong 8 innings that was tonight by Scott Richmond. There he is.
I mean, extremely comfortable, too. It was only, I mean, the first inning he allowed a couple base runners. The second inning he allowed a couple base runners, but
he changed his expression all night. No. He still got the same expression there talking to his pitching coach, Brad Arnsberg.
Chopper back toward the middle. Utley ranges over. Nice play. Hops and throws. Scooped out by Howard, and Hill is safe at first base.
Yeah, he's had 2 of those tonight. That one was a lot closer because it was right on the bag, but Hill beat it. Chopped right over the mound. Chase does all he can do with it. And that Hill, boy, he hustles. He's safe.
Well, 3 hits tonight for Hill. That's 90 hits now on the season for this guy. Slow chopper and a roll foul.
That all started going bad for the Phillies last night when Vernon Wells hit that chopper in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Wells had the chopper against Ryan Madsen. Scott Rowland didn't hit the ball hard against Ryan. He got a base hit too. And they went up scoring a run when Lyle Overbay walked with the bases loaded.
Now the rain is almost stopped.
To the count.
They really felt they'd have a good chance to get this game in tonight, and they have. Tomorrow is one of those in-between days, but they expect to be able, I hope to be able to play the 105 tomorrow.
And Wells is down on strikes. One away here in the top of the 9th inning. A reminder that this game will encore tonight at 10:30 Eastern and tomorrow at 6 a.m. on the Comcast network. So if you know any of Scott Richmond's family and friends, you might want to tell them, because he's pitched the best game of his major league career tonight against the Phillies.
Very impressive. He did have a complete game last year in his final start of the season against Baltimore.
Yeah, with the strikeouts tonight, boy.
Amen. He can't have had a better game than this unless he was in the minor leagues. Or one of those independent teams you were talking about. The Moose Jaws, or whatever it was. What you said?
Well, I would be the Cracker Cats.
Excuse me.
0-1 the count to Scott Rowland, who has a homer and a single and an RBI, and he pops this one up right in front of us. And it's 0-2. The ball popped down.
That's the guy may have been booing Rowland tonight, but he just went, Scott, you're the man. Thank you for hitting me that foul ball. I didn't say he was booing him. I said maybe he was.
He was probably booing him.
He could have been, but now he's the man. out, buddy. Here comes another one.
I don't know if he's going to get the ricochet on this one, though. He's got back-to-back strikeouts now. First he got Wells, now he gets rolling. 2 away.
Changeup. Here's the W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. 3 home runs tonight. Rod Barajas started it with the home run off Jamie Moyer early in the game, and then Aaron Hill hits one to left field. And here comes Scott Rowland with his 3rd career home run against the Phillies.
Yeah, Hill's home run kind of opened things up for the Blue Jays, made it 6-1. That's our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Yep.
Adam Lynn now the batter, 2-away, runner on first base. And it's 0-1.
Well, he's playing off Aaron Hill, of course. Would not expect him to try to steal with a 6-run lead.
Looking around the interleague scoreboard out in right center field. The American League has won the 2 games earlier tonight or today. White Sox over the Cubs, Angels over the Giants.
Washington beating the Yankees in the 9th inning. There you see it right there.
Orioles.
Baltimore just got a couple runs, Tommy, in the 7th.
Still batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. Red Sox lead the Marlins 5-1. Pop up left center field. Jimmy Rollins ventures back. Ibanez is going to come in. He'll make the call, and the inning is over. So the Blue Jays strand 1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Phillies will go to work in the bottom of the 9th inning, trailing it by 6 with 2, 3, and 4 due up. Until August 3rd, the Phillies will be in San Francisco at AT&T Park. Well, the trip includes the hotel accommodation, transportation, which includes airfare, game tickets, pregame tour of AT&T Park, and a City by the Bay road trip fleece jacket. Call 877-833-7326 or log on to Phillies.com/road trip as B.J. Ryan will come on for Scott Richmond, who pitched 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, struck out 11.
A jacket will always feel good in San Francisco at that time of the year.
Well, and the other thing, too, Wheels, is that if you do go on a tour of AT&T Park, don't step on the playing surface.
Oh, boy, you're right. They do not let you near the grass there.
I got yelled at one here. Victorino lines one to center field, and the Phillies have a base runner.
What did Mark Twain say? The coldest summer I ever spent, the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
I was doing a basketball tournament around New Year's in San Francisco, and there was a bowl game going on there. I went to the bowl game, but I also went on a tour of the ballpark. And I started walking out onto the grass, and the gentleman who was giving the tour, a very nice man, he wasn't so nice when I walked on the grass.
Well, they'd probably chew him out.
That's true.
It's a beautiful ballpark, beautiful city, and the fans that take that tour should have a great time.
Bull's going to be there. Scott Palmer will be along on that trip as well. Bottom of the ninth inning, Phillies trail it by 6. Chase Utley up with a runner on first.
Don't think you're going to be comfortable in a lot of golf shirts.
Well, Carl Graber would be our statistician.
Well, some people would, but just a word of warning: when you pack for San Francisco at that time of the year, bring some sweaters or sweatshirts, or take that nice fleece jacket.
I mean, there's some days where it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Some nights, though, where it's awfully cool.
Ooh. And it's a lot better than it used to be at the stick.
3-0 the count to Chase Utley.
Crowd has had nothing to cheer about tonight, and there's still a lot of people left here. These fans are great. Miserable night, team trailing the whole game, and they're still hanging around hoping something happens.
Time to put the ponchos away.
It's raining now.
Put the rally caps on. Everybody has their own style. Chase hits one in the air to right field. It's playable for Rios. Actually, Rios was nowhere near that ball. And he came in and closed and put it away. Tonight on Sports Night, Draft Day, the local connection continues with the MVP of the Final Four. Episcopal Academy standout Wayne Ellington, who led the Tar Heels to a national title. But will lead him to a first-round draft pick? We'll see. Plus, Derek Gunn is the latest in the Eagles versus the City. And see the Phillies Blue Jays highlights? That's after the ball game, only on Comcast Sportsnet. With a runner on first and 1 out, Ryan Howard batting for the 4th time tonight. He's walked, he's singled, he's struck out. And he's ahead in the count 1-0. See how the infield plays him. They are tight on the right side with 3 infielders there.
Wayne Ellington played with Gerald Henderson in high school at Episcopal. Watched Gerald Henderson kind of grow up out of Bluebell Country Club playing golf. And he was really a good golfer. You could tell what a great athlete he was, but he was going to play basketball, especially with the genes from his daddy.
Well, just think about the promos that we've read the last few nights of the number of Philadelphia-based players, whether it be Deontay Christmas, Dante Cunningham, Ahmad Nibbins, Wayne Ellington, that are being mentioned in the draft coverage.
Well, this has always been a great era for basketball. For local players, great local players.
So one of those great local players this year in the NBA championship with Jameer Nelson.
Some players, people say the greatest basketball player ever was Wilt Chamberlain. He came from Overbrook.
There's Ibanez with 1 out, takes one low, 1-0. Phillies trying to mount some sort of a rally against Cito Gaston's Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Trailing at 7-1. And it's 2-0 to Raul.
They're starting to get a little antsy in the dugout and get the right-hander up out there.
Now Sean Camp, who's the right-hander, and Brandon Lee, who is the other right-hander. He's the one closest to us with the glasses on. For 14 with 8 strikeouts. Raul is against B.J. Ryan. And there's a strike. Howard's on first. Victorino's on second. 3-1 is the count now to Raul. Going through some extra baseballs as Jason Worth waits on deck.
They hit the ground on this stuff, it's gone. It's in the dugout in the practice bag. BP bag.
Ball 4, the bases are loaded.
He's going to come get him. You know, the Blue Jays have this game under control, and all of a sudden B.J. Ryan, who used to be so good, and struggling now.
Cito Gaston has already signaled to the pen, so he's going to bring one of his right-handers. It looks like it's League. He went down toward his waist, and League does throw a little lower.
And he throws hard, too.
And can. So we've got a pitching change at the bottom of the 9th inning. Phils are stirring up something here. Couple of day games in Toronto. 1 o'clock on Saturday, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Well, here at Citizens Bank Park, Cito Gaston did not think he'd have to turn to another pitcher here in the 9th inning, but he does. Brandon League enters the game. His 25th of the year. He's 1-3 with a 5.93 ERA with the bases loaded. And Jason Worth takes a strike at the D's. It's 0-1.
I've seen this guy a lot over the years in spring training, and he kind of a crossfire sinker pitcher, throws hard and has a splitter. Never been what they thought he was going to be, though, because he's got a build.
At 31 games last year, he had a 2.18 ERA. It's probably the closest thing to what they expected from him. Back in 06, he pitched in 33 games and had a 2.53 ERA.
Those are not his runs out there. Those are inherited runners. And very important.
And if he gets to the point where he's going to start adding to that total that we just showed, well, this is going to be a ball game again.
Said that was a splitter. That's what the reports on him say. He's going to throw sinker, hard sinker, and splitter.
Down on strikes, and they're 2 away. 12 times the Phillies have gone down on strikes in tonight's ball game. And Lee gets the first batter he faces. And now with the bases loaded, it'll be Pedro Feliz's turn.
See if you can see the grip on that. Yeah, it was. It was a splitter, and you can see it tumbling going up there. And Jason Worth had 3 in a row. And the third one gets him. Look, he's even holding a splitter grip before he throws it. And some guys that throw splitters, even when they throw a fastball, have that grip just to keep those fingers extended. You don't see as many splitters now as you used to.
That's a fastball there, and Pedro takes it off the inside corner, 96 miles an hour.
Yeah, he throws hard. You can see him in a lot of exhibition games. And, you know, guys are never comfortable. He's never been comfortable to hit off, but somebody's beating him up with those numbers.
Pedro hits it sharply. What a play by Scudero on the backhand. Boy, that ball took a weird hop, and the ball game is over. So the Phillies strand the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Toronto wins it by a final score of 7-1, and they've taken the first 2 games of this series. Chevrolet player of the game, it's Scott Richmond. Why not? 11 strikeouts over 8 innings.
Had a great curveball tonight. We went through this earlier with all these strikeouts, and you'll see them again. And almost everyone's on a curveball. That was a slider to Ibanez, but there's another hook, another curveball.